Hey, what is up, and welcome back to another episode of Circle Angles. So, yesterday we talked about how if you wanted to figure out what one of these angles is, and you knew how much of an arc they intercepted, let's say this was 250, and that means this is 110, it would be major minus minor divided by 2. And so 140, it's 70 degrees. Is that right? 250, 150, 140 divided by 2. Yep. Okay. And then if your angle was on the circle, and this was something like, what is that about? 100 degrees of arc. So let's put a name to this. AB. The measure of arc AB equals 100. Then the measure of angle BCA equals, it's just 100 divided by 2. It's the, so it's 50 degrees. But did you know that it's actually using the same formula? It's this far angle, the big minus the little, except the little angle is 0. The arc, sorry, the little arc is 0. The major arc is 100, the minor arc is 0. In fact, this is always the formula for figuring out angles that capture parts of circles. You take the circle parts, you take the big minus the little, and divide by 2. For instance, what if you had an angle that's outside the circle, but instead of 2 tangent lines, they're both secant lines, and they cut across, like this. In this case, the major arc is 100, the minor arc is 20, and then we divide it by 2, and we get 40 degrees. Some people call this the far arc, and this one's the near, but classically it's major and minor. And what about these? What about this section? This doesn't have anything to do with the calculation, other than all 4 sections add up to 360. But all you care about is what's inside the angle. What about if you have one secant line and another secant line, and the angle's inside there? And this is like 80, and this is like 10. And you want to know what this angle is. Well, the near angle is, or the far angle is the big one. And this is actually behind the angle, so this is like a negative amount. So you do 80 minus negative 10, or in other words, 80 plus 10. So now we're adding them and dividing by 2. So 90 divided by 2, 45 degrees. So it's always subtract them and divide by 2, except if one of the angles is behind, if one of the arcs is behind the angle, it's like a negative, and you end up adding and divide by 2. Sometimes one of the arcs is 0, and then you subtract 0 and divide by 2. So you always take the far and divide by the near, or sorry, take the far and subtract the near and divide by 2, and that's your angle. Yay. Let's do some examples. These are examples. You don't have these problems. This one is okay, we have this. Where does this go? It goes here because we want to know what this is. That's the hardest part of these, is deciding where the labels go. So in this case, it's question mark divided by 2 equals 36 times 2 times 2. sorry, question mark minus 0, which is still just question mark. And question mark equals 72. Let's look at a more interesting one. Okay, here we go. 202 minus 72. Okay, that's the major arc. Here's the minor arc or the near arc. Divided by 2. That'll give you that angle. What about this one? Question mark divided by 2. Question mark minus 0, because there is no near arc. There's just this big major arc that's question mark minus the other one that's 0 divided by 2 equals 105 times by 2 times by 2 question mark equals 210. Okay, a really interesting one. They want this one, which is the major arc. So let's call it x. X minus, this is behind the angle, so it's actually going to be plus 80. It's like a negative arc, so subtracting a negative is like adding. And then divided by 2, and it gives us this angle, which is 90. So times by 2, now we got algebra. Good old algebra. Minus 80, and x equals 100. So this arc is the measure of arc KL equals 100 degrees. Okay, here's a good one. Major arc, here's the x, minus minor arc divided by 2 equals 47. Solve for x. Okay, this is like yesterday's one where you take 360 and subtract 225. Is this the same problem? And just to get this, which I believe is 135. So then you take major minus minor divided by 2. Okay, I think that's all the interesting ones there. Then later we get into some real fun. So here, major minor divided by 2 equals that. Major minor divided by 2 equals 8x plus 8 equals that. A lot of algebra to do. First of all, distribute this minus sign. Minus 26x, distribute the minus sign. Minus 2. Combine like terms. 25, 19, 19x plus 1, because plus 3 divided by 2 equals 8x plus 8 times 2 times 2. 19x plus 1 equals, distribute the 2. Distribute the 2. And if this is like a lot, that's good because you need to practice these distributing things. This is, important. This is important review skill. Before you go off to summer, you got to hit these skills. 16 minus 1 is 15. Minus 16x. Here we go. Off to the races. 3x equals 15. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. Whee! Okay, let's do one more. Major arc or far arc. Near arc is 80 degrees. And what do they want us to solve? Oh, x. I got to solve for x. Oh, here's the other thing. They want us to find something. So don't forget to rebuild. UTR. Yeah. I'm going to go back and rebuild on that last problem. In fact, let's go back right now. If x is 5, they want measure of EFG. EFG. So they want, it's 48. Let's do this one. Far arc minus near arc divided by 2 equals 2x plus 10. Combine like terms. Multiply both sides by 2. The whole side, don't forget. 15x minus 90 equals, distribute the 2. Let's see, plus 90 both sides. 15x equals 4x plus 110 minus 4x minus 4x. 11x equals 110 divided by 11 divided by 11. X equals 10. Then take that and rebuild measure of UTR. 30. Sometimes they want you to find an arc. Okay, so let's do one more. Major. Uh-oh. I'm not going to be able to finish this one. Major minus minor. Major, minor. Divide it all by 2, and it equals 49. Distribute the minus sign. Multiply by 2 both sides. Combine like terms. Solve for x. Then put x in and rebuild MQE, this arc. So once you solve for x, put it back in here. Get the answer. Okay, gotta go.